Basil, who is that woman that's passed me in the hallway?
That's me, yes. Miss X.
Miss X? Oh, what kind of a name is that? Miss X. What is this?
I told her to find me here, and she just put X, so I called her Miss X.
How odd. Wait a minute. Basil, why didn't you show her to her room and help her with her suitcases?
I followed your order.
What orders?
You tell me not to leave there.
I meant... Never mind what I meant. Miss Morgan, Miss White, Miss Crawford, have you not finished cleaning in here yet? Our weekend guests are expected to arrive any time now, and I don't want you hovering around with the feather dusters.
Oh, hello, Miss X. Hey, your fun mom is okay? Yes. Thanks.
Myrna, go and book a room for the three of us. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. What?
Hey, don't touch, hey? Sorry. Twice tonight, Friday, I should know. I'm her nanny. We'd like to move some people. Oh, let me see. Oh, very busy weekend. Wow. Okay, maybe. I told what I tell you, and you do not touch this bed, okay? Oh, okay, don't cry. No, it's okay. Stop. No. Please wait. Mrs. Lopez and her daughter, Myrna. I'm Myrna. Please go sign. Oh, please go sign here, Miss Wood, okay? I give you room 101 and 103.
Rafi, do you think you're going to take it? Rafi's work today.
Well, there was a fair amount of business at my presentation after dinner last night. I told the guests that the bus leaves at 9:30 sharp, and I had to leave the lobby by 9 o'clock this morning. Oh, it's almost my time now. Come on, Frederica. You always know about these things at the outset, and you're just keeping along. English change. I hate that. I hate tea, and I hate toys.
Good morning to you then. I will be your bus driver for today, Mr. Rogers at your service. This is your tour guide, Kathy.
Hello, and welcome to the finest English tea garden tours in England. Please step this way and register with me. You can pay by cash, travel.
You have my backyard ticket. What about paying afterwards? That breakfast out of it was worthwhile.
Follow our tours of satisfaction guarantee, ma'am.
What are all of the people doing here? We have some very important guests coming this morning, and you're clogging the lobby.
Are we going to report to you, Mrs. Clifford? Just the other day you mentioned how much you enjoy having your tours originate in your hotel. You said you might have more business.
So sorry, Kathy, my dear. I'm just a little on edge because we're expecting the Fairfaxes at our hotel this morning.
The Fairfaxes? As in the wealthy Edward Fairfax and his lovely wife Blanche from the States?
Yes, those Fairfaxes. So if you wouldn't mind, please finish your touring preparations quickly and move along.
Move around, please. Move around.
All right, everyone. Please finish your touring on the bus. Wait, please. English tea garden. That sounds lovely and relaxing. Myrna, I think we should go. It would be educational for Miranda. Miranda, would you like to go on the bus tour?
No.
She'd love to go.
I don't think any tea garden tour is the best idea for Miranda.
Nonsense. Children need culture. What do you think? We'd be delighted to have you join us on our tour. We've never had a child
be delightful, don't you? I wonder if the last day will have to find out. Mathew, Sara, Albert.
Adrian, I need all my suitcases, dear.
Let's see. No, that's the one that's happy. We can get the driver to bring those in. Good morning, young lady. There's a room ready for the Brightham. Julie, will you say? The Brightham in Fairfax. I've even made a reservation.
Of course, Fairfax. We have biggest and nicest room for you in the whole hotel.
Oh, splendid, dear. Did you hear that? We got the nicest room in the hotel.
Yes, I heard you. I'm not exactly there. Young lady, would you please take these cases to our room? Alber, let us go and see what he's taking that driver so long without other suitcases.
Okay, dear. Well,
What is it, Basil?
Miss Basil,
Spit it out. It's just... What's it, Basil? Tell me what's the matter.
Fairfax is here, in the hotel.
Where?
These Fairfax suitcases, they go aside to the other ones too.
Really? All right. Just calm down. I'll take these to their room, and then you can help them with their other ones.
Okay.
What you can carry in on those two suitcases? I'm glad you didn't tip an Albert. Albert.
don't worry about it, Ingrid. These cases, they're actually quite light. Feel them. In fact, they feel empty.
That's because they are. I always like to pick up a few things while I'm on holiday. And you never can usually have room for them.
Of course.
She's decided here, Miss Fairfax. You're not Miss Fairfax, I'm Miss Brightham. We're Albert and Ingrid Brightham, down in Fairfax.
Mr. and Mrs. Brightham. Yes, you reserved a room several weeks ago, if I remember correctly. Please, allow me to show you to your room. We have one out back next to the kitchen, with a lovely view of the swamp.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Basil here tells us it's the very best view we have.
Yes. Of course it is. Please follow me.
Well, in the words of my favorite playwright, the course of true love never did run smooth.
How Stanley? You quote Shakespeare?
Mr. Larson, was that Miss White I just saw you with now? I hope not. I asked her to get some flowers for the Fairfax room half an hour ago, and she still hasn't taken care of it.
Helen, you shouldn't worry so much. You'll have another seizure. By the way, how's the English tea garden for left here? I was very much hoping to join them today. That tour guide, Kathy, is very lovely. Well, she seems to be very knowledgeable about flowers.
Sorry, old chap. You just missed them. I kicked them out. Or rather, I asked them to leave a little early today, since we're expecting some very special guests.
That's what's got you all tied up. And I forgot all about the Fairfaxes arriving today. You know, I think I might stick around and wait for their arrival. It's about the only excitement happening in this stuff in the hotel. I don't recall ever seeing you around here before. You must have checked in this morning. Do you mind if I have a section of the paper there?
Basil, I can't remember if it was 720 or 50,000.
I'm Audrey Rochester. I'm Rochester. Please thank him, Miss Rochester. I will call Miss Clifford to get your stuff. Please to take Miss Rochester to her room.
Yes, of course, Basil. That's your job. You take Miss Rochester and her things to her room.
You tell me not to leave this desk.
Yes, Basil, I did say that earlier. But now I'm asking, please leave Miss Rochester and her things to her room.
You tell me.
Basil,
Miss Rochester, standing myself at your service. Would you be kind enough to let me take your case for you?
You work for Mr. Larson?
No, but I would be delighted to carry your case for you anyway, as it's been a little hectic around here today.
All right, thank you.
Where'd she go?
she probably went home. There are the flowers for the Fairfax room. I've been looking everywhere for these. Basil, did you see who put these here? Who?
The Fairfaxes.
I'll be right back. Go and inform the other staff and do a last check on their room. Hurry! Beth, come back. Beth, here, take these and put them in the room. Hurry, quick, quick!
Excuse me, Miss Clifford, but we seem to be out of toilet paper, soap, shampoo, and towels. I wonder perhaps if your maid forgot to stock our room.
I don't have time for this. Mrs. Brightham, I am so sorry to hear that this has happened. Basil here will provide you with whatever items you need. It's all right, Basil. I'm officially relieving you of your duties at the front desk.
People call me Miss Brightham. It's Miss Brightham. Brightham.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Fairfax, here you are. I'm so happy to hear about your safe arrival. We are delighted to have you stay with us at Shady Acres. I assure you that you've chosen the right place for the peace and quiet and closure that you so earnestly seek. Please follow me to our front desk to sign our guest register. I'll bring for one of my staff to collect your things.
Blanche has been quietly away from it all, haven't we, Blanche?
Yes, dear. I mean, who would want to stay in London where we could see fabulous shows and attend glorious dinner parties when we could stay here in this little hole-in-the-wall hotel in the middle of nowhere?
You'll have to excuse Blanche. She gets tired when she travels. She'll feel better after a little rest.
Yes, yes, of course. I understand. Please allow me to show you to your room. It's the best we have to offer.
Oh, I can hardly wait to see it.
Just ends the tour of Shady Acres, Miss Rochester.
Thank you for carrying my feet, Mr. Larson. Now, tell me, is that the resident couch potato?
This is, I don't recall. Actually, come to think of it, I don't think I ever got her name. Let me go take a look. Let's see if we can guess registered.
to use your hotel safe for some of our more valuable items.
Eddie? Eddie Fairfax? I don't believe it's you.
Eddie?
Yes, Miss Rochester and I are acquaintances from a few years back.
Acquaintances? Is that what everybody's remembering? An acquaintance? You and I were in love and engaged to be married until we met. That woman? What's her name?
Blanche.
Oh, that's it. Blanche. Love and engaged to be married because I was not the family with status and money, so Edward's family took it upon themselves to find the most wife with sense and loving and
Audrey, it wasn't quite like that.
water under the bridge. Shall we go for a walk, Mr. Larson?
I'd be delighted to.
Well, I'll bet that was a shock. You come for a weekend of privacy and you run into your old fiancé. If she's still planning to marry for money, she's latching on to the wrong fellow. He's as penniless as a pauper. He can't even pay his hotel bill. He's been staying with us for quite some time now, claiming that he's waiting for an advance from his brother.
And why do you allow him to stay?
Well, we like his company. He's a rather charming, friendly character, and we don't get that many visitors.
Miss Clifford, no, Mr. Fairfax, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but Mrs. Brightham is driving me mad. She claims that her did not come with child heavens, but I swear there was one in the lift this morning when I came.
All right, Mrs. Crawford, just get her another shower.
But we don't get her doors!
Again, as long as she lived.
check. Who did you follow out the taxi?
The one I had engraved for you for your birthday. Well, for goodness sake, don't try to catch a driver before he turns up. I want you to be irreplaceable.
Mrs. Fairfax, I brought you some tea prepared for you at Helen's request.
Tea. Honey. In that filthy mouse infested kitchen of hers, I suppose. No, thank you.
No, I prepared it for you, and you wanted me to as a gesture of kindness.
Oh, well then I suppose a cup would be nice for her. Thank you.
So you're saying that you recently took out a large insurance policy on this diamond necklace?
Oh, you're insinuating, Lieutenant. Of course I'd insure $1 million necklace, especially before going on a trip.
But why bring it along at all? Surely it must be a lot of trouble worrying about all the time. Anyways, where did you say you were when your wife's necklace was stolen?
I told you, I was checking the taxi for my missing pocket watch. It has sentimental value.
Would the driver verify this if I questioned him?
Why? You're making it sound like I'm the crook. I think you people would be a little more sensitive. I've gone through a terrible shock. You treated me like a criminal.
We are just doing our job, Mr. Fairfax. One last question, both end up in the same remote hotel in the English countryside, all the way from America. It's quite a coincidence, isn't it?
Coincidence is all it is, Lieutenant. What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, probably nothing. Just the maid thought it was significant enough to mention.
What does a silly maid know? Can I go now?
I guess that about wraps it up. For now.
I think we should let the Fairfax have a little rest and question for a while. You're dismissed, Mr. Fairfax. All right. Well, Doyle, what clues did you get?
A few interesting items, Chief.
Place me on the coffee table so we can examine them more carefully. Now, the last thing Miss Fairfax remembers is drinking a cup of tea, which her maid, Greta White, Betty brought her. Now, I suspect there must have been a hefty dose of sedative in that tea. I don't think this looks very good for Greta. So, place that teacup back in plastic and take it to the lab to be examined.
In the lab.
Thanks, Greta.
You see how the handkerchief is monogrammed S.A.? When I checked over at the guest register,
There was no one listed with the initials S.A. Where did you find the handkerchief photo?
in between the dishes on the couch.
Perhaps it was left behind by a previous guest?
No, I did not. The owner, Helen, said that we very thoroughly and they vigilant checked the spare change between the cushions on the couch.
But no one's cleaned in here since yesterday morning. We haven't let any of the guests or staff in through the lobby since the theft, except for those who collection forms.
We should ask the guests and staff about the initials S.A. in the question. What else do you have there?
Oh, that's a beauty. Do you suppose it belongs to Mrs. Fairfax, Chief?
Not unless she has two of them. She was wearing them this morning when I questioned her.
This must be Mr. Fairfax's missing pocket watch. Confirmed. It has his name engraved on the back. Where was it, Doyle?
Funny thing not, it was just lying there on his feet, say he was missing it.
Yes, he claims that was the reason for his absence during the theft of his wife's necklace. He was searching the taxi for it.
I don't know, maybe it's just absent-minded.
We'll see about that.
You have anything else for us?
No, that's it.
All right. Let's scour this place one last time before guests and staff arrive to question.
Good day, fellow quenchers of injustice, crime, and cruelty everywhere. Detective Penelope Thornton and Miss Emma Reed, quite humbly at your service.
What are you doing here, Thornton? It's a sock case, and we don't need your help. Or interference, rather. Actually, incompetence is more like it. On the other hand, it's a pleasure to see you, Miss Reed.
Thank you, Chief Wickfield. You should know we didn't come here uninvited. Mr. Fairfax hired us to take the case.
What?
Mr. Fairfax said he needed someone to be on his side.
Yes, right. He claims you treated him rudely and made him feel like a criminal. Really, Chief, this is a very powerful, wealthy man you got here. I think you should treat him with a little more courtesy.
Now you listen here, Thornton. We just conducted routine questioning, and that's it. Nobody's been treated rudely. Please stop it.
There it is.
That's Chief Wickfield to you, Thornton.
All right, Chief. I have a proposal for you. Let's see who can solve this case
You're a jackrabbit.
Just wait. Are you getting all this down? If you solve this first, I will give you half the salary that Mr. Fairfax and I agreed upon for my services. And believe me, Mr. Fairfax is a very generous man.
Now, Thorne, you know I can't accept money from either you nor Mr. Fairfax.
All right, then. How about if you solve the case first, I will agree to pay for your company's tea and crumpets for 1 whole year.
The deal, Thorne.
Please like me the cheese.
What's this?
It's a copy of your agreement we just made. Please sign here.
All right.
We agreed to share all information amongst ourselves.
That wasn't part of the agreement, Thorne.
Wickfield, you got where you read between fine print. It's only fair that we're not on the same footing.
You just want to take advantage of all the work we've done so far.
You probably want to share all of our evidence with you.
You mean evidence of that big shoe you discovered earlier?
All right. Stop. Let's not quibble. Let's not quibble, officers. We got a case to solve. Sorry. Doyle, why don't you show Detective Thornton and Miss Reed over here the evidence we have so far?
Looks like a little evidence you have there, Sergeant.
Oh, Chief, the evidence is gone.
Gone. What do you mean, gone?
I just put it down so I can notice on here. I swear I didn't do it.
Officers Black and Doyle, you two go and collect Miss Rochester, Mr. Larson, the Brighthams, and Basil for questioning. And search the hotel for the missing evidence. Lieutenant Doyle and I, along with Detective Doyle and Miss Reed, will conduct the interviews. Unbelievable. We've barely begun the case, and already we've lost the evidence.
I wonder, Mr. Fairfax, if I can hire a professional.
Say one more word, Doyle.
Chief Wickfield, I'll need a copy of the guest registry and staff list. In addition, I'll require a copy of the testimonies you've already procured, as well as any fingerprints you've lifted from either in this room.
Indeed. Might be some questions who the actual professional is around here. Basil. Okay. I trust you're able to speak with me now. I understand that you were the first one to see Miss Fairfax after the robbery. Mr. Fairfax says here that he was sitting at the front desk when he left his wife in the lobby to search for a missing body. According to his testimony, he was the only one in the room both before and after he left the lobby. Now, you must understand this doesn't look good for you.
I don't like it, but my mother got me my birthday.
You must be Miss Rochester. Who are you? I'm Detective Thornton's personal assistant. I need to ask you a few questions about whereabouts I was living last night. I was in bed, sleeping, and I woke up by a ghost in the lobby, and the major running and screaming. Mrs. Fairfax is dead! I see. I understand you had a previous connection to the Fairfaxes?
I was once engaged to Eddie. Edward, if that's what you mean. I never met Blanche.
Blanche. But you knew of her?
Of course I knew of her. Edward broke up our engagement because of her.
Sounds like a bit of resentment there.
Of course I was resentful, but that was 10 years ago.
And how is it that you ended up at the same hotel from all the way across the ocean? I know Shady. It's barely a pinpoint on the map.
A mere coincidence. I'm actually on vacation from my secretarial position and I tend to like more out-of-the-way places. You might wonder why Edward chose
All right. Where were you at about 11 o'clock last night?
I was in my room, reading a good book and drawing some clock mechanisms.
You don't really then? I understand from the hotel's manager that you've become a regular guest here. Seem to have taken up a permanent residence.
Yes, I rather like it here. It's a quaint little place.
Having stayed in Shady Acres for so long, you'd be very familiar with the hotel staff's routines and the ins and outs of it.
You suggested it, that my intimate knowledge of this hotel's procedures makes me a likely candidate for theft.
I understand that you're in a bit of a financial bind right now. Mrs. Clifford says you can't pay your hotel bills.
I'm waiting on an advance payment.
Alber to me, but I presume I'm Detective Thornton. How do you do?
Good, nice watch.
Are you enjoying your stay at Shady Acres?
Well, yes, nice of you to ask. Alber, what can it have to her to ask about our stay at the hotel? Alber?
I'm sorry, nurses. Noticing how lovely that painting is over there. Did you notice that painting, Ingrid?
Why, yes, I did. That is a splendid painting. The colors go quite nicely in a flat.
Mr. and Mrs. Brightham, I pride myself in being an excellent judge of character. And between you and me, you two are the least likely suspects in this entire hotel. But we must go through the motions of questioning everybody. So, where were you two last night at 11 o'clock?
We went to bed at 8 o'clock as usual, Detective.
All right, that's good enough for me. Thanks again for your time. Gee, shall I get the rest for interviewing?
Hey, don't be such a what? Did you see how she spent less than a minute interviewing that alley? And she has the nerve to harass me about my questioning techniques. I can't.
I'm Miss Morgan, and she's Lavinia Craford. Miss Morgan, Miss Crawford, will you please come chat with Miss Grady with me? We have a few questions for you about last night's events. First of all, do you like working here? Are you paid well?
Well enough, I suppose.
The hotel has undergone some financial difficulties lately. Miss Clifford has given us the latest in the next couple of years.
That's why she started the advertising campaign first here at Shady Acres Hotel. She started writing to wealthy and famous people, personally inviting them to come stay again.
Is that how the Fairfax is ended up here? Yes, they were the only ones to respond to our letter.
Good, I think we should interview these two together.
Work together. That's quite amiable, Wickfield.
Has nothing to do with being amiable. Senior interviewing skills. Now, Miss White, Heimlich, do you have a last name?
Hines.
I'm curious. Miss White, Miss Fairfax claims that you fed and brought her a cup of tea last night, and, well, that's the last thing she remembers. We suspect that somebody slipped a strong sedative into that tea.
Sir, by making that tea, I was only following kind of instructions.
I took instructions from my team for that woman. My mother do her. She refuses to anyone.
You left the tea and then she cut out. No, the chef made it in Fairfax as a peace offering.
Peace offering? Ha! The only peace I would offer. Woman, say peace of my mind.
She sounds guilty, Lee. Obvious contempt of the mid-judge.
So, Heimlich, you deny her writing that note?
How do we deny it?
Miss White, do you remember where you could have left that note?
Take it right away. Or send it to the teacher.
Okay. Thank you both for your cooperation. You're dismissed. staff registration?
Yes.
Have we questioned everybody here?
All but one who signed their name with an X.
Lieutenant Joy, do you think you can find this X character? Thank you.
Chief, look what we found. Need us for that.
We also found more than missing evidence. Open your suitcase. Open all day.
Oh, please. Baby. Alber and Ingrid! I am very disappointed in you!
You guys happen to find any diamond necklaces?
Not yet,
Chief, Basil said she saw us at the hotel about an hour ago.
That's great. Just when we find the missing evidence, one of my suspects disappeared. What else could possibly go wrong today?
Hey, Chris, I got no shit to help you. This is bad. Keep the anything about this. Study your best. And something me? Heinrich, you can't quit now. Where am I going to find the other cook on such short notice? I'm taking care of that. Huh?
Everybody loves Madi!
Wave, guys. Say hi, Jake. Say hi, Maddie.
If anyone would like to volunteer, now's your time. You want to say something, buddy?
His occupation, he's a lawyer.
You're a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
I hold the microphone.
I work at the LA County office. I'm a lawyer there. And I think it's Miss Rochester.
Miss Rochester, would you like to explain why, sir?
Well, it's very interesting to know that she is the, she happens to be at the same place as her ex-fiancé. And it also seems to be that she's very jealous of the woman of his affections. That necklace could have been hers.
No, I'm just admiring your voice. It's really distinguished. Anyone else notice that, or am I just weird? Do you want to say something back there?
I do, sir.
Okay. I know what you're reaching for, buddy, but this is my microphone. I hold it at all times.
I think it's Basil.
Basil,
Yes.
would you like to explain why, sir?
Well, you see, this may be unknown to our audiences, but Basil has a history of changing places and magically disappearing. So,
Do you know Basil personally?
I have read articles about her.
Read article? Basil famous? A worldwide phenomenon or something?
You may be surprised. Back in my homeland, she is.
Can you explain, or at least tell us where your homeland is, sir?
China.
Is that a secret? And were we not allowed to know? We'll get back to you. Maybe we should focus on physical properties. What did the perk look like? You want to explain that, sir? What did the perk look like? What were they wearing?
The perp?
Yeah.
I would say, I think the perp is Basil. Basil? So, Basil. And she was wearing Basil. She was wearing like a pink and orange top.
Basil was, yeah, I saw Basil. I know what she was wearing. She kind of harassed me for that, but that's another story. What was the perp wearing at the scene of the crime, when the crime was actually being executed?
That's the funny part. She was asleep at the desk, but...
Oh. So what are you trying to say here, sir? She was really asleep. That's not made up. That's true. Okay, we've got that figured out.
Right. But
yeah.
she's the only one who hasn't been questioned, come under scrutiny. So
I actually happen to question her. So unless you would like to pay attention to me, unless I don't catch your eye, I apologize. You know, maybe I should wear a flower or make myself more colorful. I guess that's my
that part. Sorry about that, but
no, it's all right. You know, who's to deny the fact that Basil could be magical? All right, sir. Oh, man.
I think it could be the Miranda Banks, the little girl, because she's using the hands like little puppets.
Really?
Like playground.
Okay. That's a new thing to add to our investigation. Thank you. Thank you. So, what was visible? What can you see on the park?
White gloves.
White gloves. Back there? On my way. White gloves, you say?
small white gloves.
Small white gloves. She had small hands.
Yes.
Did I say something wrong here? The perp, as we will now address it, was wearing small hands. What are you doing to me? You.
I think that it might be Mrs. X.
Miss X?
Yes, because X is an like a name.
X marks the spot.
Yes, X marks the spot. That must be your code name for stealing stuff, maybe. But hold on. Before you think I'm an idiot.
Okay. I think we're far past that.
Okay, now. She must have used it to hide her name so that she can commit crimes everywhere. Like, she can be wanted in everywhere, like all the states of the United States. So, she's very evil, maybe.
Quite the conspiracy theory, I must say.
Yes. So, I think Mrs. X did it because she hid her name in the musical.
What do you think X would stand for? Xylophone? Evil.
Xylophones are evil. Yes. Alright. I think we're really getting somewhere here.
I feel Stanley may have done it.
Would you like to explain your reason, buddy?
Because he seemed interested in Audrey, and he doesn't have the financial means to support her at all without some kind of theft.
That could be a motive. Love, whatever that could be. Whatever, I agree. That's a nice thing to contribute. Thank you. Now, if anyone would like to answer my initial question. Well, what, besides white gloves, besides small hands, what the perp look like? What else was on their countenance? Black shirt. You're raising your hand. I'll go to you. Take my time, though.
Female and blonde.
Female and blonde? Why didn't anyone else tell me this? Those are pretty specific attributes. So we have a female blonde with white gloves, small hands, and black sleeves. You look really pensive there, buddy. Do you have anything to... Are you scared of microphones or something? Do you want to say something? No. Cat got you. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let's look through the informant tip sheets that you guys provided. Let's see here.
Chief Wickfield.
Yeah.
Got a call from your office.
From my office?
Yeah. They said that the rest of your team down at the pub, they solved the crime. They want you to come down and listen to the evidence they have.
Are you serious? What are you doing here? What? You can do that? Oh, well, we need to go address that immediately. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody who said something. I really appreciate it. We'll get back to you shortly. Good luck. We'll get back to you all.
much trouble, maybe you could spare me a moment of your time so that I too could pick your collective brains, as it were. Okay, so about that tour bus group. Doesn't it seem a bit too convenient that the tour bus just happened to break down and the whole group just happened to have this neat and tidy alibi?
What are you doing?
Emma, here you are. I was just...
Wasting time? Pursuing false leads? Developing ridiculous theories?
Well, I wouldn't call it that. I was just...
Come on now. We have a case to solve. Unless you'd rather I complete this investigation myself. I certainly seem to be doing all the work myself. I'm beginning to think this agency should be called the Emma Reed Agency. As you like to bring to that.
What? No, Emma, no, you don't. No, Emma! Sorry about that. I guess I better go see if I can patch things up. Right. Off I go. Emma! Emma, come back! We can talk about it!
Imagine someone at this hotel stealing such a valuable necklace. Oh, Miranda! It is disturbing to think that the thief is still here among us. The police ruled out that couple, Brightham, and they didn't find the necklace among all the others stolen items. At least we weren't here when it happened. Otherwise, we would have been under suspicion too. See, Frederica? There's another good reason for going on our tour. We missed out on being questioned by the police.
At least it would have been better than looking at flowers. We missed all the excitement here.
Come on, Miss Frumpet. The tour wasn't all that bad. You have to admit, the food is pretty good.
Speaking of food, remind me to eat later until Helen hires a new chef. Dinner was awful. Everybody left before you can get done. I'm glad you here. I'm washing my face. I'm washing myself. Oh my God.
Edward, I want to leave this hotel.
Well, darling, how many times do I have to tell you we have to detective thought to solve the case for us first?
Why? Do you think there's something else for me?
Dear, I promise, as soon as this is over, I'll take you someplace else.
In the meantime, I'll probably die of food poisoning. Basil, watch my Mrs. Fairfax, here you are. It's been such a hectic day with the police and all that I've hardly had a chance to see how you're doing. Please, consider the rest of your stay here as on the house. Oh, what a bargain.
Thank you for your kindness. Blanche just need a bit of fresh air, so we're going to go for an evening stroll. Come along, dear.
Miss X, you're back. Where did you disappear to? That detective and the police were looking all over for you.
I didn't want to get involved.
We're all involved. It looked mighty suspicious when you left right when it came your turn to be questioned.
All will be revealed in good time.
Miss Clifford, go and gather all the guests in your staff. I've solved the case.
You have? Where's your assistant, Miss Reed?
Oh, she and I have a little disagreement about who was guilty of the necklace theft, so she quit. She's decided to start her own detective agency, but without me, she'll never survive.
I see. All right, I'll go collect our guests and my staff. I suppose I don't need to ask those on the tour to join us, unless it's one of them who implicated in the theft.
Don't be ridiculous. What do you take me for? A fool? Where did you disappear to this
Now that would be interesting. Gather around, everyone, and listen to the genius of Penelope Courtney as she explains the mystery of the stolen necklace.
Excellent idea. I knew you could do it.
Think nothing of it. It was easy. Just so you all know, the police and I struck a deal this morning to see who could solve this case first, and as you will all testify to them later, I was the first one here to explain the solution to you. Therefore, I win the contest. Oh, thank you. I have brochures and posters if anyone finds they're in need of.
Thornton, just get on with it. We're all anxious to hear what you found.
All right. It was Basil. Me? We all know it's always doubt about who's guilty. Or acceptable. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Hasn't it struck you people as suspicious that Basil is clearly a native of Timbuktu, yet she bears a quintessentially British name?
But we just call her Basil because we can't pronounce her real name.
What is her real name?
I told you, we can't pronounce it.
Well, in any event, it doesn't matter. Basil is the mastermind behind a terrible plot to steal Mrs. Fairfax's precious necklace.
I'd like to know how she did it.
I'm getting to that. According to all of your testimonies, you were all asleep at 11 o'clock. But Basil admitted that she was working the late shift at the front desk. She was the only one in the room with Mrs. Fairfax the entire time. There are 5 witnesses who have testified to this, Mr. and Mrs. Fairfax, as well as the 3 maids. Hazel was only pretending to be asleep, just waiting for Mrs. Fairfax to drink the tea that she had laced with a sedative. Then she crept behind her and stole her necklace.
I knew it all along. You knew it all along. Did you find the necklace, Detective?
Not yet, but I know where we'll find it. Come along, Basil.
I'm glad that's over.
Me too. Imagine the little bellhop baby being a crook.
I don't believe it. I've known Basil for years.
I agree with you, Miss White.
Thank you, Alexx.
Basil is guilty. George just has the facts all mixed up. It was a tough case to solve, but finally cracked it.
We were able to narrow down our list of suspects when we searched the bodies. We noticed just as they stole everything else in the hotel, they did not steal the diamonds.
And we retrieved our missing evidence and recommended that Alber and Brightham be treated for their compulsive behavior.
Then we examined the testimonials being taken for any motives we could find. Initially, we looked at financial need as a motive.
This point led us to suspect Helen Clifford for a struggling hotel business. Hey, Stanley lost the first debt problem. Finances could have also been a motive for any of the hotel staff. Been poorly paid for several years.
But then we looked at other possible motives, such as resentment and jealousy. And then we looked into a coincidence that was just too unusual to ignore.
The coincidence that Audrey Rochester and Edward Fairfax, both from the United States, formerly engaged, would end up at the same remote hotel in England.
One piece of evidence, a lady's diamond engagement ring, also led us to our conclusion.
Female, blonde, Audrey Rochester, you are a thief.
What? You haven't proven anything!
Confess, Audrey, haven't you carried a resentment toward him ever since he broke out your name 10 years ago? Don't you think that those diamonds, along with all Blanche's riches, should rightfully belong to you? Your business is movies. You finally decided to exact your revenge on the Fairfaxes.
We found the diamond engagement ring, the one that Edward gave to you, behind the couch. You probably didn't even notice it was missing until the next morning, but by then it was too late.
It was very careless of you to show off your ring to one of the maids.
Audrey, is this true? You still keep the engagement ring I gave you and now you've gone and stolen my wife's necklace?
Yes, and it's true. It's all true. I deserve like Blanche lived, the wealth, the fame, the travel. She took our
the missing evidence.
Yes.
Now, one thing left. It's bothering me. Remains the question of the monogram handkerchief with the initials SA on it. Who does it belong to?
I can answer that.
Miss X. So, finally decided to come out of hiding?
She must be S.A., Chief.
No, I'm not saying. But I will tell you who it is. Stanley Larson. Or should I say Stanley L. Larson? England's notorious arsonist.
That's absurd.
Miss X, I think you better explain who you are before you start handing out accusations.
I'm Secret Agent X. I've been following the activities of Mr. Arson for several months, and I finally have enough evidence to point for a very long time.
You have a handkerchief with a couple of initials on it, Miss X. How can you possibly incriminate anyone with just that? And besides, have there been any fires since I've been here, Miss Clifford?
Well, there have been a few in the kitchen. That's only since Basil started cooking.
Miss Clifford, if all had gone according to plan, there would be more than kitchen fires, wouldn't there?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Miss X, stop snoring and explain your story.
Chief Wickfield, let's re-examine Miss Clifford and Stanley Arson's possible motives for stealing dynamethus.
Well, during our investigation, it became apparent that Miss Clifford's hotel business was undergoing a financial strain. Mr. Larson, apparently used Emma debt problem couldn't pay his hotel.
Didn't it strike me as a bit odd that Miss Clifford simply allowed Stanley to stay in her hotel without requiring a cent from him, especially since she needed the money?
Yes. It crossed my mind.
Helen Clifford's hotel business was going poorly, so she decided to invite the famous and wealthy people to her hotel in hopes it would bring her work. When that didn't work, she hired Stanley to set fire to her hotel, so she could collect insurance monies and relieve herself of a struggling business.
But it did work. I mean, we're here, aren't we?
Ah, yes, but Helen didn't count on that. You see, you messed with her second plan. She had already hired Stanley, and then you showed up. She couldn't have the hotel burned down while you're here, now could she?
Well, I'm glad she didn't.
Well, it appears we're going to have a full house at the station today. Inside door, arrest Miss Clifford. Miss X, I'll leave you in charge of arson.
Basil, you don't tell me where that necklace is, I swear
Detective! I have no necklace! Here it is!
Oh, why thank you. I was beginning to think I'd never see it again with all these months around.
I told you we'd find it. Where was it, officer?
In Miss Rochester's suitcase. She was all packed and ready to leave.
Miss Rochester's suitcase? What was it doing there?
Going near a washout, and I'm giving your report to the police department for their fine work.
But I solved the case first!
Good, you accused the wrong person. Why don't you join us down at the police station today? We've got a lot of paperwork to fill out. You can certainly use some tea and crumpets. By the way, we expect weekly delivery.
That was a part of the deal!
Thornton, you've got to learn to read between the fine print. And get a check.
Officer Black, on behalf of my wife and myself, I'd like to thank you, your department, for their fine work. I do realize you can't expect any money from us.
No, sir. We're just doing our job. Edward, perhaps we could hire an interior decorator to redesign the police station. Those places are so drab. Perhaps we could even donate new uniforms and brighter colors.
That's a wonderful idea, darling. We'd start on it right away.
Well, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Fairfax.
to gather our things here. It looks like we'll be staying in another hotel tonight.
It looks like we're unemployed. Unemployed? It means we're on the job. No job?
No job.
You know what? It's okay. We'll find someone who pays more than this cover everything, right?
Excuse me, I couldn't help it over here. You're in need of some work. If you're interested, it seems that Blanche fired all of our hands over that home.
I'm sure we love the word Mr. Grandbox.
Edward, am I to understand that you just hired all these people?
All different news and well, London folks, wages and the call.
Director, Ms. Nugent.